Ministry of Heritage chronicles Israel's story, the victories and the defeats, the players and the friends and enemies. Shira Shapira from the ministry has had to swiftly gather evidence since October 7th because of the disinformation war Hamas waged right after the attack. She spoke with us recently about her work and the role it plays in the nation's resilience. Is it important to collect this evidence because even just a few days after October 7th,
I think in the same day,
people started denying it. It didn't happen. It was made up. It was AI.
Millions of dollars are invested in order to tell a different story.
Yeah.
And to, not even contradicting, but really different story of what happened. And we can't let that happen.
Yeah. Are you also doing a resilience center?
Yeah. So really, resilience is much more than a center. It's a vision. What we think, I will share with you my vision, my own vision, and the vision of the Ministry of Heritage. We think, and I think everyone can connect to what I'm saying, there are two forces that everyone can relate to, that everyone feels. For one force is the force of remember, the wanting to remember. Not only the trauma, but the past. We want to remember the past. Our grandmother, our grandfather, the past of our community, we want to remember. The other force is the force of, circle of life. Life goes on. We have to continue. We have to go back to life. And people many times mistake and think that these two forces contradict. That either you remember, then everything will be devastating and traumatic, or you go back to life and then you forget.
Yeah.
But we think no. These two forces are we have to combine them.
Sure.
They go together. You have to see to look at them as a connected force, and you have to see the heritage as a bridge between these two forces. You look to the past, you take it to the future. This is your heritage. And the way that you can, manage between the past and the future, the remembrance and the circle of life, this makes resilience. When you do this movement between past and future, you are getting resilience. That's what we are trying to do. And that's why let's say in Sderot, which is the city of resilience, they were suffering for many years, not only from the 7th of October. They know what resilience is. So we are making the center of the city the heritage of resilience.
Still ahead, uncommon bravery, the inspiring story of one soldier's heroism on October 7th. There's no family that hasn't been touched by the war, and during my conversation with Shira Shapira from the Ministry of Heritage, we learned about her own personal connection. Her son, an IDF soldier, was in the same bomb shelter on October 7th with American-Israeli Hirsch Goldberg Polin and others, before some of them were kidnapped. Here's his riveting, heroic story. It's personal for everybody in Israel, but maybe more personal for you, for your son and me. Tell us about that.
Okay, my husband and me, we have 7 kids. And the oldest is Anil. And he was a soldier. And on the 7th of October, he was off duty. He went to the Nova Festival. Around 6:30 in the morning, when what happened began, they called him. They said, "Come back to the army." He said, "Okay, I'm very close by. It's in Be'eri, the festival was, and he was in base Sufa." He went on the way, and on the route 232 were bombing and shooting. So they went into the shelter. It's very small, tiny shelter on the road. It's supposed to protect you from bombs, not from shooting. So what happened at the end, that it became like a death trap. And what happened is that when he got inside, everyone else, there were 24, 27 people inside, they were panicked, they were afraid. So he said, in the minute when he came inside, he took responsibility, although he didn't know them, only one friend, Hirsch Goldberg Polin, his friend. But he didn't know anyone else. And he said, I'm Anil Shapira. I'm a soldier at the elite unit of the Nahal. The army is on the way. Everything will be okay. I will protect you. And he calmed everyone down. So the people inside said, "We're so happy you're here. You're calming us down. Thank you for coming." And then he thought that they will enter. He found a bottle of beer on the floor, and he broke it in order to have something, sharp to attack when they enter. But they didn't enter. They didn't have the courage to enter. The terrorists, and they were only shooting. And he understood that they were going to throw grenades inside. So he told everyone inside, they will throw grenades. I will pick them up and throw them back. If I miss or if I get injured, you should continue after me. And that's what he did. The first grenade came inside. He picked it up and threw it back on the terrorist. The second one, again. Third one, again. Not once, not twice. 8 times he picked the grenade up and threw it on the terrorist. When they understood that they can't beat him with grenades, they brought RPG and they shot him. And we have a record of everything that happened inside because some girl pushed the record button on her phone. And we hear them saying inside, "You're such a fighter." They talking to themselves, the people inside. He's throwing all the grenades. "You're a king. What you're doing for us?" And after we hear him say, "No, no," and a huge explosion, and he gave his life, to save others. After he died, they said, "Oh my God, we lost our protector." You hear the people inside. And then the terrorists came inside. They kidnapped 5 people, including Hirsch Goldberg-Polin, and then came inside, shot people, and took the hostages. The people some of them were shot and dead, but most of them were only injured, but nobody came to save them. Only 2:30 afternoon came citizens to save, and the people that were saved, 7 people were saved. They said, "There is one person, Anel Shapira, he saved our lives. We are alive due to him." And 2 weeks ago came one of the hostages, Or Levy, and he said he wanted to talk to us the day after, and he told us the exact same story. "I'm alive due to your son." And came another one, Elia Cohen, and he said the exact same story, and there is still one inside. We pray so much for him to come with all the other hostages. But Anel saved lives. He couldn't save his own life, but he saved so many lives, and he left us a lot of music. He was a musician, and paintings. He was a painter also, and we continue his heritage. We continue with his legacy. We publish his music, and we want to be able to, to make his legacy alive. The same that I'm trying to do with my profession, to the communities, to the nation, take our past and make it alive with our heritage to the future.
Well, he's leaving an amazing legacy, and may his memory be a blessing. Thank you so much, Shira. Blast, so you can continue